Authenticity is the cornerstone of personal growth and fulfillment. At its core, authenticity means being unapologetically yourself, living in alignment with your values, beliefs, and passions. It's about embracing the truth of who you are, even when it feels uncomfortable or vulnerable. In a world that often demands conformity, choosing to be authentic can feel like a radical act, but it is also an act of profound self-respect. Being authentic starts with self-awareness. It requires us to ask, who am I when no one else is watching? What do I value most deeply? It's not just about understanding the roles we play in life, whether as a parent, a professional, or a friend, but about recognizing the unique combination of experiences, dreams, and challenges that define us as individuals. Authenticity calls for peeling back the layers of societal expectations and external pressures to discover the essence of who we truly are. One of the most challenging aspects of authenticity is embracing our imperfections. Society often presents a curated version of life, where success is synonymous with flawlessness and vulnerability is viewed as weakness. Yet true authenticity requires us to acknowledge our struggles, mistakes, and insecurities not as shortcomings to hide, but as integral parts of our humanity. It is through this acknowledgement that we cultivate self-acceptance and inner strength. Being authentic also means living with integrity. It involves making decisions that align with our principles, even when those choices are inconvenient or unpopular. It is a commitment to standing firm in our beliefs, even when external forces attempt to sway us. This integrity fosters trust, not only within ourselves, but also in our relationships, because when we are true to ourselves, we invite others to do the same. Authenticity is not static, it evolves as we grow and change. It demands that we continually check in with ourselves, question the narratives we've been told, and remain open to the possibility of transformation. It is not about arriving at a fixed version of who we are, but about staying present with our journey and honoring the truths we uncover along the way. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering acts of self-care and self-respect. It is a way of defining what is acceptable and unacceptable in your life, creating space for your well-being, and ensuring that your time, energy, and emotional capacity are honored. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about establishing the framework through which healthy relationships, personal growth, and true balance can flourish. At its essence, setting boundaries begins with understanding your own needs. It requires deep self-awareness and a willingness to reflect on what truly matters to you, what brings you peace, what drains your energy, and what leaves you feeling fulfilled or depleted. Boundaries are about acknowledging those realities and taking intentional steps to honor them. This involves identifying areas in your life where limits are necessary, whether in your work, relationships, or even with yourself. One of the greatest challenges in setting boundaries is overcoming the fear of disappointing others. Many of us are conditioned to prioritize the needs and expectations of others over our own. We fear being labeled as selfish or difficult, so we say yes when we mean no, accept obligations that weigh us down, and allow our personal time to be infringed upon. Yet, this pattern often leads to burnout, resentment, and a sense of disconnection from ourselves. Setting boundaries requires courage to stand up for yourself, to risk displeasing others, and to trust that your worth is not tied to constant acquiescence. Boundaries also necessitate clear communication. It is not enough to recognize your limits internally, you must be willing to articulate them to others. This means expressing your needs with clarity and firmness, but also with kindness and respect. Whether it's letting a colleague know you cannot take on an extra project, telling a friend that you need time to recharge, or explaining to a family member that certain behaviors are hurtful, these conversations can be challenging but are essential for maintaining your well-being. Establishing boundaries is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice. It involves consistently evaluating your limits as life changes and relationships evolve. At times, it may mean renegotiating boundaries that are no longer serving you or adapting to new circumstances that require different approaches. It is a dynamic process that calls for self-reflection and the ability to assert yourself even in the face of resistance. Boundaries are also deeply tied to self-worth. When you set boundaries, you are sending a message to yourself and to others that your time, energy, and emotional health are valuable. You are affirming that you deserve respect and that you are not obligated to overextend yourself to meet the expectations of others. This can be transformative, especially for those who have spent much of their lives prioritizing others at the expense of their own needs. In practice, setting boundaries can look different for everyone. It might mean creating physical space, like reserving certain hours of the day for yourself. It could involve emotional boundaries, such as choosing not to engage in conversations or dynamics that leave you feeling drained. Or it could be about mental boundaries, such as not allowing negative self-talk to dominate your inner dialogue. Self-compassion is the practice of extending the same kindness, care, and understanding to ourselves that we readily offer to others. It is the antidote to the harsh inner critic that many of us carry, the voice that magnifies our mistakes, belittles our efforts, and convinces us we're not enough. In its simplest form, self-compassion is the act of treating yourself as you would a dear friend, especially in moments of failure, pain, or inadequacy. It is a powerful tool for resilience, growth, and inner peace. At its core, self-compassion requires acknowledging our shared humanity. It means understanding that struggle and imperfection are universal experiences. No one escapes challenges, setbacks, or moments of self-doubt. This awareness can be profoundly liberating because it reminds us that we are not alone in our difficulties. Instead of isolating ourselves in shame when we fall short, self-compassion invites us to recognize that our experiences are part of the larger tapestry of life. One of the central aspects of self-compassion is self-kindness. This involves shifting from a mindset of self-judgment to one of care and support. It means replacing self-critical thoughts with words and actions that soothe and uplift. For instance, when we fail or make a mistake, our instinct might be to berate ourselves with thoughts like, I should have done better, or I'm so stupid. Self-compassion challenges us to pause, take a breath, and respond instead with, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm learning and growing. This simple act of kindness can have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Equally important is the practice of mindfulness within self-compassion. Mindfulness involves being present with our emotions without judgment or suppression. It means allowing ourselves to feel the pain, frustration, or disappointment we're experiencing without letting it consume us or define us. Mindfulness helps us observe our feelings with curiosity and gentleness, creating space for healing and understanding. When paired with self-compassion, mindfulness allows us to hold our struggles in a tender and non-judgmental way, rather than amplifying them with criticism or avoidance. Self-compassion also plays a crucial role in fostering resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks are inevitable. However, how we respond to those setbacks makes all the difference. When we approach ourselves with compassion, we are better equipped to navigate difficult times with grace and perseverance. Instead of getting stuck in cycles of self-blame or despair, we can acknowledge our pain, offer ourselves comfort, and find the strength to move forward. This process not only helps us recover from adversity, but also builds the confidence to face future challenges. It's important to note that self-compassion is not about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. Some people mistakenly believe that being compassionate toward oneself might lead to complacency or a lack of accountability. On the contrary, self-compassion provides a solid foundation for personal growth and improvement. When we approach ourselves with understanding rather than harsh criticism, we create an environment where we feel safe to take risks, try new things, and learn from our mistakes. It encourages us to strive for progress, not perfection, knowing that our worth is not tied to our achievements. Practicing self-compassion often involves challenging long-held beliefs and patterns of thinking. Many of us have internalized messages from society, culture, or upbringing that equate self-worth with productivity, perfection, or external validation. These beliefs can make it difficult to extend compassion to ourselves, as we feel we must constantly prove our value. However, self-compassion invites us to rewrite these narratives and recognize that our inherent worth is not conditional. It encourages us to honor ourselves, not for what we do, but for who we are. Incorporating self-compassion into daily life can take many forms. It might mean starting the day with affirmations of self-love, pausing throughout the day to check in with your emotions, or ending the day by reflecting on what you did well instead of focusing solely on what went wrong. It could involve writing yourself a compassionate letter when you're feeling down, practicing deep breathing to calm your inner critic, or even seeking professional support to develop a kinder relationship with yourself. Purposeful living begins with self-inquiry, a deep and intentional process of examining your values, beliefs, passions, and motivations. It is through this introspection that we uncover what truly matters to us and align our lives with those priorities. Self-inquiry is not a single moment of revelation, but an ongoing journey, one that requires curiosity, honesty, and courage. It asks us to look beyond surface-level desires and societal expectations to discover the deeper truths about who we are and what we are here to contribute. At its core, self-inquiry starts with asking the right questions. These questions often seem simple, but can be profoundly transformative. What brings me joy? What do I fear the most? What kind of life do I want to lead? And what legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers to these questions can reveal insights about our inner selves, but they also challenge us to confront areas of our lives where we may be out of alignment. Purposeful living demands that we not only ask these questions, but also listen deeply to the answers, even when they are uncomfortable or inconvenient. One of the most significant barriers to self-inquiry is the noise of the external world. We live in a society that constantly bombards us with messages about what success looks like, what we should value, and how we should spend our time. These influences can make it difficult to hear our inner voice. Purposeful living requires creating space for silence and reflection, carving out time to sit with ourselves without distractions. It might mean journaling, meditating, or simply taking long walks in nature, any practice that allows us to tune into our inner wisdom. Another essential aspect of self-inquiry is exploring our values. Values are the guiding principles that shape our decisions and give our lives meaning. However, many of us go through life without ever consciously identifying what our values are. We might adopt values from our families, cultures, or peer groups without questioning whether they truly resonate with us. Self-inquiry invites us to examine these inherited beliefs and determine whether they align with the person we want to be. When we live according to our authentic values, our actions feel purposeful, and our lives take on a sense of coherence and direction. Self-inquiry also involves examining our passions and strengths. These are the activities and qualities that energize us, that make us lose track of time, and that bring a sense of fulfillment. However, discovering our passions often requires looking beyond superficial interests and exploring the underlying themes that bring us to life. For example, someone who enjoys cooking might find that their deeper passion lies in creating experiences that bring people together. Purposeful living is not just about identifying what we love to do, but also understanding why it matters to us and how it connects to a greater sense of purpose. Another powerful aspect of self-inquiry is facing our fears and limitations. Often it is our unexamined fears that hold us back from living a purposeful life. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, these are all obstacles that can keep us stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. Self-inquiry encourages us to confront these fears with compassion and curiosity, to understand where they come from, and to challenge the narratives that keep us from moving forward. In doing so, we create space for growth and transformation. Self-inquiry also invites us to question how we define success. Society often equates success with external achievements, wealth, status, recognition, but purposeful living requires redefining success on our own terms. It's about asking ourselves, what does a meaningful life look like to me? For some, success might mean nurturing close relationships. For others, it might mean contributing to a cause they are passionate about or simply finding contentment in everyday moments. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and self-inquiry helps us uncover what success truly means in the context of our own lives. The process of self-inquiry is not always easy. It requires a willingness to sit with uncertainty, to wrestle with difficult questions, and to be honest about the ways in which we may be falling short of our own ideals. It also requires patience, as the answers to life's big questions rarely come all at once. However, the rewards of self-inquiry are immense. Through this process, we gain clarity about what matters most to us, develop a stronger sense of self, and cultivate the confidence to live in alignment with our purpose. Self-inquiry is also deeply empowering because it reminds us that we are the authors of our own lives. While we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can choose how we respond and what we prioritize. Purposeful living is not about waiting for the right circumstances or opportunities to come along. It's about taking ownership of our choices and creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Self-inquiry helps us take that ownership by revealing the path that is uniquely ours to follow. Finally, self-inquiry connects us to something greater than ourselves. Whether that is a sense of spirituality, a commitment to service, or a desire to leave the world a better place, purposeful living often involves recognizing that our lives are part of a larger whole. Through self-inquiry, we can discover how our unique gifts and passions intersect with the needs of the world, allowing us to make a meaningful contribution while staying true to who we are. Personal growth is a deeply transformative process that begins within but extends far beyond the individual. As we work on ourselves, developing self-awareness, cultivating resilience, and aligning with our values, the impact radiates outward, touching every aspect of our lives and influencing those around us. This phenomenon, often referred to as the ripple effect of personal growth, illustrates how positive change in one area can create waves of transformation in others, ultimately contributing to a greater sense of harmony and purpose in our communities and the world. At its heart, personal growth is about becoming the best version of ourselves. It starts with self-reflection and the willingness to confront our limitations, fears, and insecurities. By doing this inner work, we begin to let go of behaviors and thought patterns that no longer serve us, creating space for healthier habits and mindsets to take root. These changes, though deeply personal, rarely remain contained within us. As we evolve, we naturally begin to interact with the world differently, communicating more openly, making more intentional choices, and approaching challenges with greater equanimity. One of the most immediate ways personal growth creates a ripple effect is through our relationships. When we invest in our own well-being, we become more capable of showing up fully for others. For instance, someone who has developed emotional intelligence through personal growth is better equipped to navigate conflicts, offer empathy, and create deeper connections. This improved dynamic doesn't just benefit the individual, it fosters stronger, healthier, and more supportive relationships that uplift everyone involved. These enhanced relationships can, in turn, influence others to approach their interactions with the same level of care and intentionality, spreading the impact even further. The ripple effect of personal growth also extends to the environments we inhabit, whether at home, at work, or in our communities. When we operate from a place of authenticity and alignment, we inspire others to do the same. A person who demonstrates confidence and integrity in their actions can encourage their colleagues or peers to approach their own work with greater passion and purpose. Similarly, someone who practices kindness and gratitude can shift the culture of a workplace or social group, fostering a more positive and collaborative atmosphere. In this way, the inner work we do as individuals has the power to influence the collective dynamics of the spaces we occupy. Another significant aspect of the ripple effect lies in its ability to inspire. Personal growth is inherently empowering, and when others witness the changes we've made in our lives, they are often inspired to embark on their own journeys of self-improvement. This inspiration doesn't come from preaching or persuasion, but from leading by example. When people see someone who has overcome obstacles, achieved balance, or found fulfillment, they begin to believe that such transformation is possible for them as well. This creates a chain reaction of growth, as one person's evolution sparks curiosity and motivation in others. The ripple effect of personal growth also manifests in how we contribute to the world. As we develop greater clarity about our values and purpose, we often feel compelled to align our actions with the greater good. This might mean volunteering for a cause we care about, pursuing work that has a meaningful impact, or simply being a source of positivity and support in our everyday interactions. These contributions, though they may seem small in isolation, can have a profound cumulative effect when multiplied across many individuals. Personal growth also reshapes the way we view challenges and setbacks. By cultivating resilience and adaptability, we learn to approach difficulties with a sense of opportunity rather than defeat. This shift in perspective not only benefits us personally, but also sets an example for those around us. When others observe how we navigate adversity with grace and determination, they too may feel empowered to adopt a similar approach. This shared resilience creates a ripple of strength and optimism that can uplift entire communities during times of uncertainty. Additionally, personal growth fosters a greater sense of interconnectedness. As we deepen our understanding of ourselves, we often come to recognize our shared humanity and the ways in which our actions affect others. This awareness leads to more intentional and compassionate choices, whether in how we treat our neighbors, how we consume resources, or how we engage with global issues. The ripple effect of such mindfulness is far-reaching, as even small acts of consideration and care can inspire others to act with similar thoughtfulness. The ripple effect of personal growth is not limited to direct interactions, it also extends to the legacy we leave behind. The lessons we learn and the changes we make in ourselves can influence future generations, whether through the values we instill in our children, the work we contribute to our communities, or the example we set for those who follow in our footsteps. This intergenerational impact highlights the profound significance of personal growth, not just for our own lives, but for the lasting difference it can make in the world. Finally, the ripple effect reminds us that personal growth is not a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey. While it begins with the individual, its impact is inherently relational and communal. Each step we take toward becoming our best selves creates opportunities for others to grow, connect, and thrive alongside us. In this way, the work we do on ourselves is never just for us, it is for everyone we touch, directly or indirectly, and for the world we are helping to shape through our actions and example. Walking your own path requires an extraordinary amount of courage. It means stepping away from the safety of conformity and venturing into the unknown territory of living a life that is authentically yours. It is an act of defiance against societal expectations, a declaration that you will not be defined by the opinions of others, and a commitment to honoring your unique purpose and potential. This journey is not for the faint of heart, as it demands resilience, vulnerability, and an unwavering belief in yourself. At the heart of walking your path lies self-awareness. It begins with understanding who you are and what truly matters to you. This process often requires peeling back layers of conditioning, those voices that tell you who you should be or what you should want. It involves quieting the noise of external influences so that you can hear the whispers of your inner voice. This voice may lead you in directions that feel unconventional or even risky, but it is your compass pointing you toward the life you are meant to live. Choosing to walk your path also means embracing uncertainty. Unlike following a predetermined road, your unique path often lacks clear markers or guarantees of success. It can be tempting to stay within the bounds of what feels safe and predictable, but true fulfillment lies in the willingness to take risks and trust in the process. The courage to face uncertainty comes from a deep conviction that the journey itself is worth it, that the growth, lessons, and self-discovery you gain along the way are far more valuable than any external validation. One of the most significant challenges of walking your path is confronting the fear of judgment. Straying from the expectations of others often invites criticism or misunderstanding. Friends, family, and society may question your choices or attempt to steer you back to more conventional routes. This resistance can be painful, but it is also a powerful opportunity to stand firm in your truth. The courage to walk your path means learning to distinguish between constructive feedback and opinions rooted in others' fears or biases. It requires trusting that your vision for your life is valid, even if others cannot see it. Walking your path also demands resilience in the face of setbacks. Pursuing a life that aligns with your values and passions is not always smooth or easy. There will be moments of failure, doubt, and hardship. However, these challenges are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are integral parts of the journey.